champion the neuroscience behind storyfied messaging, and how-to writers have poured out dozens upon dozens of story and business manuals that could fill a wall at Barnes & Noble. But despite published enthusiasm, boardroom misgivings about the nature and use of story run as wide and deep as ever. Now and then, an inspired campaign uses story to effect. For instance, the What's the Matter with Owen campaign by GE, Misunderstood by Apple, or Click Baby Click by Adobe. But overall, corporate storytelling continues to sputter and stumble in confusion, more a trend than a tool. This is true not only for the marketing arms of most companies, but also for the PR and ad agencies that service them. The dream of story-driven commerce is still a dream. With Storynomics, we intend to turn this dream into reality.
Part 1, The Marketing Revolution, investigates the problem. Once the causes of a crisis are exposed, its cure becomes self-evident. Chapter 1, Advertising, a Story of Addiction, asks what went wrong, and traces the rise and fall of advertising, from Ben Franklin to today. Chapter 2, Marketing, a Story of Deception, traces the problem back beyond advertising to the taproot of marketing logic. Part 2, Story Creation, explores the solution. The next 4 chapters examine the core elements of story, how they fit the mind, how they move consumer action, and how to design them for effect. Chapter 3, The Evolution of Story, begins with the first human thought and follows the mind's evolution into storied consciousness. Chapter 4, The Definition of Story, lays out the components of the universal, timeless form that underlies all storytelling in all cultures. Chapter 5, The Full Story, delves deeper into the elements of story to help the reader develop her craft. Chapter 6, The Purpose-Told Story, takes the reader through the step-by-step process for designing the ideal marketing story. Part 3, Putting Story to Work, turns solution into action. To transform the way your organization connects to its customers, you must harness your marketing, branding, advertising, and sales to the pooling power of story. The following chapters show you how to storify all 4 voices. Chapter 7, Story and the CMO, casts the marketer as master storyteller who envisions a campaign and then guides creatives as they transform the concept into storified action. Chapter 8, Storified Branding, demonstrates the use of story to overcome the public's antipathy to corporations and win brand affinity. Chapter 9, Storified Advertising, argues that ads work best when the interruption tells a story that hooks, holds, and entertains. Chapter 10, Storified Demand and Lead Generation, looks at how thinking and planning in story form guides marketing's grand strategy and takes your corporation to long-term success. Chapter 11, Building Audience, explains how brands can integrate into the digital ecosystem to earn and expand audience, allowing the stories they tell to reach the masses. Chapter 12, Storified Sales, lays out the full range of face-to-face storytelling options from point of sale to the viral cascade known as word of mouth. Chapter 13, Nomics, demonstrates how marketers can directly measure the value of their storytelling and compare its efficacy with that of traditional advertising. The conclusion tomorrow looks forward, forecasting the impact of new and upcoming technological change on the use of storytelling in marketing. We examine how the impact of story will continue to grow, and our ability to create immersive experiences will take a leap forward, while essential story form remains the same. Justin Smith, CEO of Bloomberg Media Group, said, "All business is bifurcated into 2 distinct worlds. The struggling traditional segment that longs for a simpler, more profitable past that will never return, and the vibrant entrepreneurial segment that is reinventing commerce before our eyes." This book was written for you reinventors. We coined the infinitive to storify to name the transformation of data into story form. The adjective storified to describe data that has undergone that change, and the noun storynomics to title the story-centric business practices that drive fiscal results. The difference between data and story is this. Data lists what happened. Story expresses how and why it happened. Data compiles